Talk a little Florida Gator recruiting. The Gators, they have two commits right now. Quarterback Will Griffin and Devin Jackson, but the Gators are cooking on the trail under Billy Napier, especially heading out of December and into the new year. This cycle is just getting started, so let's get to the intel. Chad, you've been making the rounds in Florida. You were at IMG Academy, where you talked with 6'5", 295-pound offensive lineman Brett Colajay, and he is going to be on campus in Gainesville this weekend. Where does UF stand for this one?
Look, Brett has not officially, cut his list down or named favorites or eliminated anybody, but Florida I would put in that upper half. If he had a list somewhere in that top group somewhere, whether that be, 4 schools, 6 schools, 7 schools. Look, he's still taking trips everywhere. Look, he's from Colorado. That's where his family's at, going to school here at IMG. So it's very important to kind of get his family on campus. He'll be around this spring all over the place. Like you said, one is Florida coming up here soon. He's been to Florida multiple times for games, for junior days. He's had one-on-one time with Rob Sell, Billy Napier, the coaching staff in Gainesville. He likes the community. He likes the fan base. He likes the people. He likes SEC football. Many SEC schools are on his list in play, and Florida is one of those. I think that has a real shot to get him on campus multiple times between now and the time he makes that decision. One thing about Breck I found pretty interesting is he was looking to commit early at one time. After talking to him at IMG a few days ago, he's kind of changed plans. He's going to take his recruitment into the season. He's going to watch some teams play, get to a few games. He'll take some OVs in the summer. He could add a few during the season, but either way, he's going to take more time than he thought, and Florida's definitely a strong player in this race.
All right, let's stay with talking top players in the state of Florida. Isaiah Williams, he's a priority target for UF. He's a former FSU commitment from Leesburg, Florida, which is right down the street from Gainesville. So he's On3's #1 ranked linebacker, and he's locked in a June official visit to the Gators. Who's at the top of this recruitment right now?
Man, he's a wild card, Josh. I mean, you mentioned he's a one-time FSU commit, also one-time Syracuse commit, also one-time Louisville commit. So, look, he's a wild card. Look, I think he's sometimes, as anybody can, get caught up in the emotions of a visit and commit or a phone call and can be influenced there. So, look, he's got the OVs locked in. You mentioned Florida's one of those. I can say at one time in between the Syracuse and the Florida State commit, the decommit and commit to Florida State, that Florida was the school trending, for Isaiah Williams going back to late summer, coming off that Future 50 event down at IMG in Bradenton, Florida, talking to him, talking to sources. Around that time, Florida was the top school to beat. So it's kind of come back around where Florida's very much involved. He's been to games. He's been to the Swamp. He likes the staff. Ron Roberts leading the way there. He likes how he fits into that scheme, how their linebackers play in that aggressive mode. He feels that fits him. With this one, it's really hard to say today. Maybe is there a team to beat? Maybe, maybe not. But I can say Florida is one of the top schools to watch in this race. Again, he's taking trips to places like Alabama, Georgia, a lot of top programs, and we've seen he's not scared to commit to schools farther away. But like you mentioned, Florida's very close to home. It's an easy trip in the spring, easy trip for official visit in the summer, easy for games in the fall. And we've seen by the pattern of his commit and decommit, he's going to be a guy you have to recruit until the very end and get him signed in December.
Yeah, he's just getting his reps in, just like anything. If you're going to be great at it, you got to get those reps in. So by his 4th, 5th,
practice makes perfect, man.
He'll have it down.
Yeah.
So
no doubt about that.
Stay tuned. All right. Talking about commitments, Canes linebacker commitment Jordan Campbell will be back in Gainesville this spring. You just spoke to him recently. He also visited Gainesville in January. So how big of a threat is UF here to flip Campbell?
I'm not ready to call really any school a true threat yet to Miami. Look, he's a hometown kid at Miami Carroll City. He's been to Miami too many times to count. But look, when guys keep taking visits, they're leaving that door cracked, and Florida wants to take advantage of that. So they got him on campus in January, getting him back in this spring. They would love for him to lock in an OV. He hasn't done that yet, to my knowledge, as far as OVs to Florida, but he's looking at Missouri, Nebraska. So he's keeping some other schools in the mix, keeping them warm. But he'll be a tough pull. But the more you can get him back on campus, the more you can build that relationship, the more you can get him familiar with the program, the people that are there, the coaches, the players, the scheme, and kind of sell him on that fit. He's still giving you a chance. Florida's trying to capitalize on that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's stay at the linebacker position. The Gators are involved in a bunch of top-tier linebackers within the state of Florida. This one is a top 10 linebacker from Palm Beach Gardens, Adam Balogun Ali. He is at, like I said, Palm Beach Gardens. UF making him a priority. What did you learn when you spoke with him?
So I probably learned my biggest takeaway is he's still pretty open. He's actually at Missouri right now as we record this, Josh. I mean, that kicks off. I think he's going to see about 10 schools in the next couple of months. So, look, he's been to Florida. Florida's on his list. I would put he's trying to come out of this spring, maybe end of April, with a group of maybe 5 or 6 schools. He's going to lock in. He has no OVs locked in right now. He wants to go through this spring, get on campus, see some practices, interact with players and coaches, ask the necessary questions, come out of this, lock in the OVs. It could be anywhere 4, 5, 6 schools. Going into this spring, I think if he had to pick 5 or 6 right now, Florida would be on that list. I think they're in a good position. They've had him on campus multiple times. Again, Coach Roberts has really connected there. His resume, his experience, the scheme. That's one thing very important to Adam is the scheme, how he fits. Does his play style fit that scheme? He sees that potentially at Florida. He knows some people there. He's going to drive to Florida in a couple of weeks after school one day and watch a practice, he told me, in mid-March. So he's very intrigued about it. Look, he's a smart kid, man. He asks the right questions. He wants to really dissect and make sure he can fit in every scheme, on the field, off the field. So Florida, I would say right now, look, it's wide open on his list. But if there was a list, a top schools list, Florida would be on it and would be getting an official visit. And I like their chances right now to get one of those OBs come June.
All right, Gator fans, talk to Chad and I. How are you guys feeling? Only 2 commitments right now, but there's about to be a bunch more. Who, in your opinion, is the most important recruit on the Gators board right now? Let us know. Comment section below.